Hey fellow traders, ever found yourself drowning in a sea of open charts after testing your expert advisors or analyzing different pairs? It gets messy fast, and closing 20, 50, or even hundreds of charts manually? Yeah, no thanks. In today's video, I'm going to show you a simple but powerful script I created that automatically declutters your MetaTrader 5 terminal with just one click. Whether you want to keep only the first few charts open or a specific set like the first, third, and fifth, this script does exactly that and closes everything else. In the first part, I'll show you exactly how to use it and where to download it for free, whether from the marketplace or by compiling it yourself. And in the second half, we'll dive into the source code together. I'll walk you through how it works step by step, and we'll even practice some MQL5 coding along the way. So grab your keyboard and let's bring order to the chart chaos. Every time you run a backtest in MetaTrader 5, a new chart is opened to display the history of that test. If you're backtesting frequently, and let's be honest, who isn't, these charts can quickly pile up into an unmanageable mess. It's not just confusing and distracting, it actually wastes resources. Each open chart continues to receive tick updates for its symbol, which can lead to lag or slowdowns, especially on busy terminals or when using cheap VPS setups. So if your terminal starts to feel sluggish, one of the first things you should check is how many charts are currently open. But that's exactly where our script comes in. Let's say you only want to keep charts 1 and 4 open, just like in the screenshot. All you have to do is drag the script onto any chart and type 1-4 in the input field. The script takes care of the rest, closing everything else and leaving only the charts you want. If you find this script helpful, feel free to leave a rating and drop a comment. I'd really appreciate the feedback. You can grab it directly from the marketplace or check out the full source code on GitHub. That was the first part. Now let's dive into the code. For clarity, the part of the code I'm currently talking about will always be highlighted in white. We'll be going from top to bottom, step by step, and I'll group everything into logical blocks, so it's easier to follow along. Line 10 enables the script input dialog in MetaTrader. That means when you drag and drop the script onto any chart, it will open a small input window, allowing users to customize parameters. In our case, we use this to let the user define which charts should remain open. Then on line 12, we declare an input variable called keepCharts. It's a string type and defaults to the value 2. This input accepts two formats. You can enter a single number like 5 if you want the script to keep charts 1 through 5 open, or you can enter a comma-separated list like 1, 15, 7 to keep only specific charts open, in this case charts 1, 5, and 7, and the script will close all others. Now we're entering the main function. OnStart is automatically called when the script runs. We define some variables. Current chart holds the ID of the chart where the script was dropped. Chart IDs is an array and will store the IDs of all open charts. Total charts counts how many charts there are, and keepList is an array of true-false values that tells us which charts to keep. Now, when we talk about chart IDs, we're referring to the unique identifiers assigned to every open chart in MetaTrader. To work with these, we utilize some very handy built-in functions: chart ID, chart first, and chart next, and you'll see these in action in the following lines of code. But before diving deeper, let's quickly take a look at what a chart ID actually looks like. And for that, we turn to one of the most underused yet powerful tools in your MetaTrader arsenal, the built-in manual. Here's a tip. Whenever you're unsure about a built-in function, just double-click on it in the editor and press F1. This instantly brings up the official MetaTrader documentation for that function. It's an incredibly rich and well-organized source of information. For example, when we do this with Chart ID, we get not only a description, but also usage examples and explanations. And as you can see here, these chart IDs are long numbers, unique values identifying each open chart window. I can't emphasize this enough. Make the MetaTrader manual your best friend. Not just when you're stuck, but as a regular habit. It'll level up your coding game more than you might expect. So now that we've clarified what chart IDs are, let's move on to how we actually loop through them and manipulate them in our script. We start with chart first, which returns the ID of the first open chart and assigns it to the variable ch. Then we enter a while loop that runs as long as ch is not equal to -1. That -1 is our stop signal. It means there are no more charts to process. Inside the loop, the first thing we do is dynamically resize two arrays, chart IDs and keep list. We make room for one more element by resizing them to total charts plus 1. Next, we store the current chart ID into the chart IDs array at the current index. Then, in parallel, we set the corresponding index in the keep list array to false, meaning by default, we're not planning to keep this chart open. That decision will come later based on user input. We increment the total charts counter to reflect that we've added another chart to our list. Finally, we update ch by calling chart next, which gives us the ID of the next open chart, and the loop continues from there. In the end, this block builds a full list of all open chart IDs and prepares a matching list of Boolean flags to decide later which ones to keep. Now we take the user input, like 2 or 1, 3, 5, 10, and split it by commas into a list of strings. The variable num indices tells us how many entries the user gave. If the user entered just one number, like 2, we interpret that as keep the first two charts. We convert that number to an integer and flag the first n charts in the list as true in that for loop, meaning keep them open later in the code. Otherwise, the user gave a list like 1, 4, and 5, and we treat each entry as an index to keep. We loop through the indices, convert them to numbers, and subtract 1, because our chart array starts at index 0. If the index is valid, we mark that chart as 1 to keep open. And hey, if you find yourself struggling with some of the basics here, like how loops work, how arrays are handled, or anything else that seems unclear, just drop a comment below and I'll be happy to create a separate video or explanation going over those fundamentals in a simple beginner-friendly way. Here we go through all charts and close the ones that are not marked to be kept, except the chart the script was run from. That one's handled separately. Let's go over the final two parts of the script. First, we declare a variable called current IDX and initialize it with -1. This will store the position of the chart we're currently running the script on, if we find it in the list of all chart IDs. We loop through every chart ID we collected earlier and check if, is this chart ID equal to the current chart, which is the one the script is running on. As soon as we find a match, we store its index in current IDX and break out of the loop. If we don't find it, current IDX stays at -1, which acts as a kind of not found flag. This last condition says, if the current chart was found in our list and it's not marked to be kept, then go ahead and close it too. This is a small safety net. Earlier in the script, we closed all charts except the one the script is running on. But if the user didn't include this chart in the keep list, we still need to close it, and that's exactly what this line does. It ensures that even the current chart is closed if it's not one of the selected ones we want to keep. And that's it. I hope this little tool saves you some time and a few clicks in your daily trading workflow. Thanks for watching. If you found it helpful, feel free to drop a like, leave a comment, or check out the source code linked below. See you in the next one, and until then, happy coding and clean terminals.